Hello, everybody. Welcome to the review. Just finished watching A Quiet Place Day 1, the prequel to the Quiet Place franchise. Before I get to the details of this review, I want to state ahead of time, I do apologize for not having my reviews out consistently as much as I used to in the past. With my work, with my full-time schedule at work, it's very difficult for me to find the time and being able to watch certain upcoming films on opening nights or even during the week. So today marked the first time, aside from Bad Boys Ride or Die, marked the first time where I was actually able to sit down and watch a film that literally just came out. So, and be on the lookout for my Maxine review that I will be watching this Saturday as I have the day off. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get the details of what I thought about A Quiet Place Day 1. A Quiet Place Day 1 is the prequel to the story of The Quiet Place, as anyone who has watched these films are very familiar with the overall synopsis, with these alien creatures penetrating the atmosphere, hunting explicitly by sound, and anyone who makes any form of noise, it automatically becomes a death sentence for them. Now, I love the first two films, so when it comes to prequel series, I've always initially been hesitant when it comes to prequel stories, because I've always felt that, from my perspective, leaving the interpretation to the audience or the imagination of what has occurred beforehand is far more interesting and intriguing than having the essence revealed to you. So with A Quiet Place, I didn't necessarily believe that a prequel film was necessary, considering that we actually saw what happened in the second film. I thought that was serviceable enough, and if it were me, I would have loved to have seen the prequel series with Cillian Murphy's character for the second film. But either way, is with Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn and Alex Wolff, and the way that this film was set up, I felt that it was very interesting to at least give it a shot. And having said that, I don't believe this prequel was necessary, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's underwhelming, nor was it a bad film. It's just I don't believe that this story needed to be told. But when it comes to these alien creatures arriving into New York City, creating this post-apocalyptic wasteland, I thought that the haunting imagery that was utilized was a lot more frightening and claustrophobic than with the first two films. Because even though I loved the first two films, there was just something about how all this chaos and frenetic pace and intensity is going along in a much more appropriate, realistic perspective. In, like, say, God forbid, knock on wood, but God forbid, let's just say that we had some alien creatures that happen to arrive in our solar system and start causing all kinds of chaos. The representation of what was captured on this film, I do believe, would more or less be a complete mirror of how humanity would react. And Lupita Nyong'o plays a character named Samara, who is in hospice care, and she has a very cynical, blunt, aggressive, retaliatory outlook on life, given her diagnosis. Now, I'm assuming that what she's dying from is cancer. They don't necessarily explicitly state what's going on with her condition, but either way, she has a terminal sickness, and now, on top of her dealing with this unfortunate circumstance, all hell, metaphorically, is breaking loose, and she's having to survive while dealing with this excruciating pain on top of these alien creatures looking to hunting by sound. And she's a marvelous actress to begin with, and she knows exactly how to capture the essence of pain, fear, sadness, happiness, anger. She conveys all those expected emotions with seamless ease, and she is truly just at a sight to behold when it comes to her captivating the audience with her acting. You have Joseph Quinn. He plays a character named Eric. Now, I have not watched Stranger Things, but from what I've seen of him in this film, he's also a marvelous actor. Their chemistry with one another is what brings the story more into a heartfelt perspective, rather than having them be at odds with one another. It is all about them connecting on an emotional level while at the same time surviving. And that, to me, is where the film really begins to excel, with the character development between these two. And they're complete opposites, but at the same time, there's this sense of having the same outlook when it comes to their survival. Now, what I did appreciate about this film too is the fact that it wasn't so much focused on the actual creatures themselves. You see them, obviously, but you don't necessarily see them. It's all about the aftermath and the level of intensity, the atmosphere, that knowing whatever little sound you make, they're gonna be on the hunt. And the fact that you do see a sense of them cooperating with one another, which I thought was completely new as far as what we've seen in the first film. So it was definitely a unique experience, and I don't believe you could actually appreciate A Quiet Place unless you watch it in the theater setting, and that's what this film really truly accomplished with the overall haunting imagery. I will say the beginning of the film is where it's absolutely complete mayhem, and it's beautifully constructed in film and the sequence is put together in a masterful way. It reminded me a lot of what you would see in Silent Hill, for example. Just leaving a lot to the imagination. You're not seeing what's ahead of you or what's behind you. That to me is what true horror is all about. It's not so much about what you see. It's sometimes generally speaking, what you don't see behind the shadows or in the shadows is far more frightening than what you do see. Now, for those, it's a minor spoiler. Now, let me go ahead and state, I was not going to watch this film unless someone confirmed it for me. So for anyone who is a cat lover, like myself, as someone who's a cat owner, she happens to be sleeping right now, right next to me. If you are a cat lover, you do not have to worry about it. The cat does live in this film, so you can rest easy. I was able to rest easy for that. But overall, I really did enjoy A Quiet Place Day One. I thought it was actually very phenomenal, quite surprising for a prequel film, even though I do believe it wasn't needed. But I'm gonna go ahead and give A Quiet Place Day One 2 thumbs up, a 9 out of 10, highly recommended. A few jump scares here and there, but nothing to where you dread it. It's not detracting from the overall enjoyment of the film itself. But that's my review of A Quiet Place Day One. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. If you have watched the film, provide a like and visit me on my Discord server if you're interested in joining a server to discuss various films, video games, anime, and be on the lookout for my review of Maxine this Saturday, which I will be watching. I hope you all remain safe, take care, and peace out.